Trading information and making the commute safer and faster for everyone.
Every 10 minutes on the nines, we have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Utah, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
At Gillette Services, you're more than just a customer. You're family. We pride ourselves on delivering exceptional HVAC and plumbing services with a personal touch. Whether it's a routine checkup or an emergency, we're here for you. Get a $49 tune-up for the first 50 callers. Call 385-GET-HEAT today. That's 385-438-4328 today.
A Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Well, finally, you can really feel fall in the air. The weather is confirming it, and that means that the holidays are just around the corner. It is not too early to get into the Western Nut Company and take care of all of the things you're going to need for the holiday season. Taking care of your company employees, your clients, personal gifts for those in the neighborhood. The Western Nut Company has been a tradition now for over a half a century. For our family, it just wouldn't be the Christmas season without Western Nut. You can choose from an amazing assortment of the finest nuts the world has to offer, all roasted and packaged and ready to go right there at their flagship store in downtown Salt Lake City, 434 South on 3rd West. And then soon we'll be looking for the kiosks. You can call, you can go online. It's the Western Nut Company, the perfect place for your gifts this upcoming holiday season. Don't forget, it's not too early to get into the Western Nut Company now.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Mark Christiansen.
Well, Amanda, they're still clearing that accident, or the traffic from that accident, still clearing out of the way as they've moved everything over to the right, just about Mount Air Canyon. As you're making your way eastbound I-80. Traffic, though, it's just a mess all the way back to the entrance of Parley's. If you're headed that direction, just expect that's going to take a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes before that ever clears up and gets back to close to freeway speeds there. Another accident, possibly 7200 South I-15 northbound, off to the right. A couple of cars through the area there that have hit each other and they've taken them off. Prep for winter. Get a furnace inspection from a certified heating contractor to check for safety and efficiency. A reminder from Enbridge Gas. I'm Mark Christiansen from the KSL Traffic Center.
Weather will start to warm up again today. The highs will be around 66. Right now, sunny and 43 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
Well, you've been hearing our reporting all morning long that the parents of a woman who's accused and charged with the murder of her husband are now in jail. We're going to have full analysis on the developments in this case and how digital evidence is playing a key role as the details unfold.
There was a sense that somebody else was involved.
when we first heard about this, there was a sense, a belief I had early on that there had to be somebody else involved. We'll explain why that ended up being the accusation and possibly the case. It's 9:07. It's time for the launch.
Sequence engaged.
And here are 3 things that Debbie wants you to know.
Countdown. 3.
Hold the onions. More fast food chains apparently holding the onions. We're going to get into that in the 10 o'clock hour. As we speak to the health department on the latest on McDonald's E. coli outbreak when they call the show. We're also hearing from those who have been impacted. Customers who say they ate a quarter pounder. Customers like Clarissa DeBach saying how sick she got after eating that quarter pounder with a 2-year-old by her side.
It's terrifying to think if that would have been a different outcome and he would have got it instead of me.
And this has me questioning all onions now. When it was just McDonald's, I can, fine, not eat a quarter pounder. But when other restaurants are starting to be involved, I wonder, okay, does this affect me at all? We're going to reach out to the health department and find out, should I be concerned about those onions sitting on my counter?
Countdown. 2.
Number 1 concern for Utahns. We've just talked about this week. Housing anxiety, housing affordability. You ask Utahns in polls, and pollsters have done this, Dave, and yep, it's housing affordability. What about the future for the housing crisis? One Utah lawmaker saying he's got a solution. He's calling the show in about 30 minutes, and he's saying it lies in the arms of developers. He has a plan to help them out.
Which makes some sense. I've spoken to a number of developers. One of their complaints is how incredibly difficult it is to manage the red tape when they're trying to build something. They have to make huge investments in the piece of property, the signing of the contracts, working with regulators, getting permits and approvals, all of these things before a single scoop of dirt is turned over. Well, when it's very expensive to even get started, those costs get passed on to us. So when it's more expensive for developers, it's more expensive to us. That's how it applies directly to us, in part why it is so hard and we have such a shortage of housing in Utah.
Launch countdown. 1.
And now the parents. Parents of a woman charged with murdering her husband and arrested. The parents are also now in custody, held in jail without bail. Both accused by police of lying about how long they were at the scene of the alleged crime. Police accusing both mom and dad of Jennifer Gledhill of participating in cleaning the home where the crime allegedly took place.
And as we were learning about this very early on, this is where it was not adding up to me. It didn't make a lot of sense to me how this woman allegedly killed her husband and then was able to drag his dead body and haul it off into and bury it somewhere else. This is what all the allegations say. I just cannot imagine how a woman could be able to do this physically, and I thought there had to be someone else involved. Well, this is exactly what it appears, is that she may have recruited her parents to help cover up the crime.
Dave and Dujanovic.
The launch.
Commence.
Dave and Dujanovic. Special coverage of the top local story.
I want to start by reminding our listeners, Dave, and reminding us that we are not aware that the body of Matthew Johnson has been recovered. The search seems to be certainly ongoing, but it does seem to be that cops are having a very difficult time recovering his body and pinpointing where his body may be buried.
And it could be anywhere, right? They're trying to track through cell phone records and GPS and try to locate, but quite honestly, it's been unsuccessful so far.
So now, not only is his estranged wife in jail, charged in this crime, now her parents are also in jail. Jennifer Gledhill was arrested on suspicion of murder. Rosalie Gledhill, 67 years old, her mom. Thomas Gledhill, 71 years old, her father. Both of them are sitting behind bars without bail on obstruction of justice charges. We're going to get into more details on that, but you said earlier you're not surprised by this, Dave?
Yeah, quite frankly, I mean, this is so macabre to talk about. I mean, it is, but it speaks to what investigators have to look into. And if this man was truly murdered, and he was murdered by his wife, then where and how did they clean up? You know, moving mattresses is very hard to do, even with two people. But she apparently switched out the mattress. Where do you take that body? How do you load it up into the vehicle? How do you drive it somewhere else? All of this incredibly difficult, nearly impossible for just one person.
So there's digital evidence. We're going to get into that more with KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas in just a few moments. That is helping police piece together the prosecution's case. But there's also apparently eyewitness reports as well, and an informant that has helped police piece together the evidence in this case. But here's what's alleged to have happened in the latest information that we're getting, that both parents denied being at the home of where the alleged crime happened for as long as neighbors said they were there. The parents saying they were there for about an hour on the day of September 24th, denying that they cleaned up anything. But witnesses who live nearby telling police they saw the parents there for much longer, for as long as 5 hours, and that they were cleaning. So the stories there didn't match. One of the allegations that have led to the obstruction of justice charges and the arrest of both parents, and that when they took a look and obtained the mother's phone, that it had been reset. It had been reset, which creates complications in recovering phone records. It doesn't mean they won't recover something, but that it had been reset, according to police. And that the daughter had also called her dad on September 22nd before and after her own phone was shut off for a few hours while she was apparently or allegedly north of the Salt Lake City area. And that his phone also, the dad's phone also shows he was in contact with his daughter about delivery and pickup of a mattress toward the end of September, on September 26th. So police are making progress in this case. The parents are now behind bars. They've been ordered to stay there without bail. Their daughter also behind bars on allegations that she murdered her estranged husband. And yet the body of Matthew Johnson, who served for many, many years at the Utah National Guard, has yet to be recovered. Straight ahead, KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas calling up the show. We're going to ask him about the critical nature of digital evidence in homicide investigations. Next.
Dave and Dujanovic.
You know KSL is the only news radio for your car, right?
The only news radio for your smart speaker.
Come here in the morning. It's the latest news and traffic. In the afternoon, news and updated weather.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Number 7.
Intercepted! Tommy passes, picks it off!
That is one lucky number.
The touchdown!
7-0. Congrats to our BYU Cougars. Join the BYU faithful. Listen to Cougar Tracks all this week at 7:55 in the morning on KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
One of the things we love about Master Electrical Service is the actual service. We sat down with one of the owners, and he talks so often about being concerned about the needs of the customer and how they can help in so many different ways. And Master Electrical Service has helped out the electrical needs of folks since the 1950s. Well, now they've joined forces with Mountain Home Services, which gives you some one-stop shopping, not just your electrical needs, but also your HVAC, your heating and air, your plumbing.
And it's super exciting that they've also added fireplaces to their menu of things that they can help you with. And, of course, that's just in time because we know at some point the chill is going to hit the Salt Lake Valley and beyond, and that's where Mountain Home Services steps in and helps you to pick out that brand new, beautiful gas fireplace you've always wanted.
All with that wonderful upfront pricing guarantee where they come into your house, they give you that bid, and then they honor that bid, which is quite refreshing if you've ever been bitten by the bid bug. Go ahead and check them out. Go to Mountain Home Services website. It's mountainhomeutah.com. It's mountainhomeutah.com.
You can always call them, too. They love to hear from you. 801-543-2222. Again, 801-543-2222.
Get up to a 30% upfront bonus to use for your retirement income or up to 12% per year to help grow your retirement income. Whether you're in retirement or will be retiring within 10 years, Trajan Wealth can offer some of the highest guarantees in the business. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know no one wants to work forever. We all need to retire someday, and I know you've worked hard for your money, so now is the time to guarantee it. Take advantage of up to a 30% upfront bonus for your retirement income or up to 12% per year for retirement income. Don't woulda, shoulda, coulda. Get up to a 30% bonus just for opening an account or up to 12% per year for retirement income. Don't leave your retirement to chance. Retire the right way, the Trajan way with Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan today at 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. DBA in most states says Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Everyone on the road is trying to make it to their destination safely. You can help by staying aware of the large trucks and buses around you. They take longer to stop, have large blind spots, and make wide turns that require caution from other drivers. It takes all of us working together to share the road safely. Learn more at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov. Paid for by FMCSA.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Steve, NPS is my favorite place to save money. It's called a nice place to save for a reason because they have such great deals on everything from clothing to electronics to food. We like to do our grocery shopping before we hit the actual grocery store. We check and see what we can get. Sometimes, actually, I'm going to just be honest, every time I end up taking home things that I didn't expect to, but they're so perfectly priced that I can't say no to it.
And this is the thing that people need to understand is it's like 20 to 30 or 70% off on merchandise, and these are all brand new items. These are not returns, not a thrift store. This is a full-on retail store that just happens to get these containers full of product.
Yeah.
And then they put them on the shelves and, you know.
And they price it to move. Here's the thing. You want to shop in the store more than once a week. They have daily flash sales. Sometimes they have something that's 70% off.
Yeah.
Each store has its own sale. So go more than once. Because remember, too, when you go to NPS, if you snooze,
you lose.
And you don't want to do that. 4 locations, 2 in Salt Lake, 1 in Layton, and 1 in Orem.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Amanda Dixon. First, state leaders are looking at the Oxbow Jail as the potential future site of a massive homeless camp. Second, Bryan Head Resort, Beaver Mountain, and Powder Mountain have been named as some of the most budget-friendly resorts in the West. And third, the parents of a woman accused of murdering her husband have been arrested on suspicion of helping her clean up after and lying to police about it. Right now, sunny and 43 degrees in Salt Lake City. Back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave, and Dujanovic. Dave and Dujanovic. Special coverage of the top local story.
Police are still searching for the body of Matthew Johnson. Served in the Utah National Guard for 19 years. And now his estranged wife accused and charged in his murder. The latest development, Dave, is that her parents have both been arrested. 67-year-old Rosalie Gledhill, 71-year-old Thomas Gledhill, both on allegations by police that they're accused of obstruction of justice, several charges for both of them, that they were allegedly at the home, seen by people nearby the home for about 5 hours where the crime was alleged to have occurred, and denied cleaning the home, but police believe that they have evidence to say otherwise, including those eyewitness reports. And then in a moment, we're going to talk to Greg Skordas about the critical role the digital evidence from cell phones is playing in this case.
A couple of other things. It is saying here in the probable cause statement, as we're reading, that the parents are not cooperating, or at least the father is not cooperating with the investigation. And also, I just wanted to clarify, as I brought up some of the questions I had early on when we heard about the alleged murder, is I wondered, okay, could one person do all this? Could they do all the cleaning, remove the mattress, bring in a new mattress, dispose of the body? It's very difficult to do all those things with just one person. So it doesn't totally surprise me that other people are involved, but we don't know whether or not the parents were involved in disposing of this body.
Yeah, based on the information that we have right now from law enforcement, they have not been accused of that. What they've been accused of is spending more time at the home than they admitted to police, and also alleged to have been seen by witnesses in the area to be participating in cleaning of the home. And police believe, Greg, that the parents were at the home where the alleged crime happened, where Matthew Johnson, police have said, was shot and killed. But digital evidence as well is playing a critical role in this, as police not only look at the cell phone information from Jennifer Gledhill, but also the parents as well. And in the information that we've obtained here, it seems like the mom's cell phone, police have said had been reset when they obtained it. They're going to certainly be looking at that to see what records they can recover. But that the father allegedly had been in communication with his daughter over a delivery and a pickup of a mattress on September 26th. So digital evidence is really playing a key part, as it does in many investigations nowadays.
That's exactly right. In this case, it looks like the police did a very thorough investigation. And you know, people they don't realize that with all the cell towers that are around, your cell phone is constantly being tracked because there are towers that are trying to get reception to and from it. So your tracks are followed pretty closely. But just as importantly, when you shut off your phone for certain times, that can mean something as well. And so you have a little bit of both of that in this case, where the police are saying, well, they left here, they went here, but then they shut off their phones at this point and then turned them back on. And in fact, there's some allegations that at least one of the parents has wiped information off of the phone in the form of text messages. So that data may eventually be recovered. But yes, this looks like a case where the police have done a lot of work with cell phones and forensics that way to try to wrap these two people up.
Greg, one of the big focuses of this probable cause document was the amount of time spent, it appears, at the house. The claim that maybe they were there for an hour, others that they were there for maybe as many as 5 hours. Can you speak to the significance of that disparity?
Yeah, that's another reason why they were charged with obstructing, because each of them said we were only there for a little while, an hour or less, but the neighbors said that they were there for 5 hours. So whether or not they were involved in the disposal of the body or anything else, they clearly lied to the police, according to this, and of course they're presumed innocent, but according to the neighbors, that statement was a lie. And when police are doing an investigation, and they expect, especially a homicide investigation, they are entitled to people giving them truthful answers if they're going to answer at all. But the worst thing that you can do is lie to a police officer in connection with something like this, because these are charged now as second-degree felonies. Each of them carry 1 to 15 years in prison, and each of these people are accused. Now, they haven't been charged yet. They're only booked in probable cause with 3 or 4 of those counts.
Greg, I'm just looking at the orders right here from the court, where the arresting agency goes in and asks the judge, "Hey, I think there's enough evidence here to keep an individual locked up in jail without bail." And it appears, from what I'm looking at here, that the judge has granted the request to hold both parents in jail without bail. And obviously an elevated concern because of the evidence that they had, that if they were released, whether they would stick around. And this is something that the judge has said, I think there's enough evidence here that there's a substantial danger to any other individual or to the community, or is likely to flee the jurisdiction of the court if released on bail. And therefore, the court orders that the Gledhills, Rosalie, and Thomas be held without bail.
Yeah, and that's not really typical, especially for a second-degree felony. But the nature of the charges themselves, Debbie, the obstructing justice, give the judge and, of course, the prosecution and police a little more leverage to say, we shouldn't keep them out because they're obstructing an investigation. So ultimately, they'll be granted some bail. It may be a very astronomical 7-digit number, but they're probably going to get bail. They may not be able to post it, and we'll see, because one of the first things they're going to request when they go to court is a bail hearing, a detention hearing, be a couple weeks down the road.
Greg, we have about a minute left, but police still, at least for what we know, police have not found the body of Matthew Johnson yet.
That's right. And they were looking, and we talked last week, I think Dave asked me a couple days ago if the parents were going to be charged. And at the time we talked about, they could cooperate, they could help, and apparently they didn't. And so the police have gotten frustrated with them. They still haven't found the body. They're getting the runaround from these people, and they've decided, forget it, we're just going to charge them. Maybe they'll come forward and cooperate now. But in the meantime, they're sitting in jail, the same jail that their daughter is.
Greg Skordas, thank you for joining us, our KSL legal analyst.
We'll continue to track the developments on this story, of course, watching any developments in court that happen today and throughout this case, and certainly as the search continues for the body of Matthew Johnson, a man who served for many years in the Utah National Guard.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour. Write-in candidate for Governor Phil Lyman is claiming that 2 other write-in candidates with the same last name were paid by Governor Spencer Cox's campaign to run against him and damage his campaign. Richard and Carol Lyman agreed to drop out of the race as a result of the lawsuit, but deny any claims that the governor bribed them to do it. The candidates for Utah 4th Congressional District hit the debate stage last night. They touched on the hot topics across the state, including AI, transgender athletes, and education. Democratic challenger Katrina Fallick-Wang is appealing to voters as an everyday Utahn.
You've heard it said by now that politics is too important to be left to politicians. I am not a politician. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a family member here in Utah.
Incumbent Republican Representative Burgess Owen says Utah continues to change, and he wants to continue to be a part of that change in the Beehive State. Our top national story this hour from ABC News: Israeli strikes have killed 38 people in Gaza this morning. Worries are growing about supply shortages in Gaza, and international pressure for a ceasefire is mounting. The deaths are the latest reported in Gaza and come a day after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that Israel had accomplished its objective of effectively dismantling Hamas. Your money at this moment: the Dow is down 27 points. We're at 42,350. Coming up, a beautiful sunny day in store. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:32.
right app on your phone for news, you probably have dozens.
But the KSL News Radio app, well, it makes our live stream super easy.
Plus, our talk shows are right there as podcast for your workday.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
Winter is coming, but there's still time to replace those drafty old windows before the cold comes and drives up your heating bill. Just make one call and take advantage of the Advanced Window Products Fall Special. $2,500 off on 10 windows or more, and that's $2,500 off their already low factory direct prices because at Advanced Window Products, they're the factory. Your windows are built in their facility right here in Salt Lake City. You're buying local, and with their lifetime guarantee, you don't ever have to call some faraway state for help. Advanced Window Products is right here, proudly backing up their work, so make one call, save on your heating bill, and get a rebate from the energy companies. Advanced Window Products offers 0% financing. They can even give you amazing new windows with no money down. And don't forget, $2,500 off their factory direct prices, but you have to call now. Advanced Window Products, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Keep your business connected with Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi backup. Or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Marcus Jansen.
Amanda, that eastbound 80 accident that happened about a half an hour ago, they're still there at the turn of I-80 eastbound, just about to the point where Mount Air Canyon comes into play. And it looks like traffic's still backed up. If you're trying to use Parley's, you're going to have to give yourself still some extra time, at least to get to that point. From there to the top of the summit and into Park City works really well. Here in the Salt Lake Valley, traffic's moving well on I-15, Davis and Utah County included. I'm Mark Christiansen in the KSL Traffic Center.
Weather will start to warm up again today. We'll get up to around 66 degrees. Right now it's 46. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories. On KSL News Radio, Priced Out, Housing, Special Coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
Well, we just know from looking at polls that when voters are asking, what is the biggest issue in your life? Time and time again, they're like, I have housing anxiety. I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford a house. If you're, a mom like me of 20-something-year-olds, you're like, I don't know if my kids are going to be able to afford a house. And then they're worried about it as well. So I'm really curious about Ray Ward's pitch. He's a Utah lawmaker. He's joining the show in just a few seconds. He's got an idea. I heard him on KSL at night last night. And I was like, let's bring him on our show. I have a little, what do you call, like a little FOMO, fear of missing out, when another show has a good idea and runs with it. But they did a great job talking to him last night about his idea to make it easier for contractors to build more homes and smaller homes. And I want to pick his brain, too.
It can be tricky. And I've spoken to a couple of developers about this. And one of their biggest complaints is before they even turn over a single scoop of dirt, all the time, money, and effort that has to go into planning the development, getting it approved, signing contracts, working with regulators. You got a million permits and approval process that can take a very long time. And again, this is all before they even turn over a single scoop of dirt. When it slows it down, you can't build as quickly, so that restricts the supply.
Well, but to some extent, I want there to be oversight and regulation, right? I don't want to buy a home, move into it, and find out, that it's caving in or something because there hasn't been any government oversight. But let's talk to Representative Ray Ward. My fear of missing out of this conversation, you've resolved it by calling into our show. Thank you so much, Representative.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so just give us the lay of the land of what you're thinking in terms of a proposal from Capitol Hill's perspective to make it easier for contractors, maybe roll back some of that red tape and get more homes built more quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the big picture is that housing costs have gone up faster than incomes across the whole nation over the last 20 years. So it's a long-term problem, not a short-term problem. And in Utah, that thing of it being more expensive has been worse than almost anywhere else in the nation. So our housing prices have gone up more than our incomes in Utah, more than almost all the other states. So we're in a real bad fix. And so we've tried already, we've done all kinds of planning things and collaborating things and putting more rules in place. And I think my idea is just going the other way. It's just making it simpler. It did used to be simpler, and we've made it a lot more complicated. So we have evidence. It's also common sense, but we have evidence that smaller homes cost less than bigger homes. Makes sense. We have homes that are built on smaller lots cost less than homes that are built on larger lots. So my idea is just to say, if someone wants to build a smaller home on a smaller lot, we should let them build that home. We should not put extra requirements on them. And all the requirements you were talking about, Debbie, about safety and building to code, all those are still in place. Absolutely, okay. Of course, those are in place. But is a home on a smaller lot safe? Yeah, you bet it is. If it's a smaller home, but it's built to the same good standards, is it safe? Yeah, you bet it is. It just costs less. And if you do that, then you don't have to subsidize anyone. I don't have to take some taxpayers' money and give it to somebody else to subsidize their home. It's just that the home would cost less because it was smaller, and because we made it easier for them to build it, that also would make it cost less. So really, that's the bottom of my idea. Right now, every single city gets to make its own rules, and what happens is they'll say, look, in this area it's just third of an acre lots. I don't want to cities that say some of their town has to be 1 acre lots. And so then the city will say, well, look, we'll let you build some smaller lots on that. But since that's an exception, then you have to meet all these other conditions. You have to give us some of your land to make a park. And then you have to make an HOA to pay for the park. And we want the park strips to be wider than code. And we want the roads to be wider than code. And we want the water pressure to be higher than code. And all those other requirements, they add to the cost, add to the cost, add to the cost. So my idea is just, if somebody wants to build a smaller home on a smaller lot in an area where the city has said this area is for homes to be built, then they should be allowed to do that. That's a short version of it.
No, it's a good explanation. I wonder how this works with the local city planning division. Does this supersede any of their regulations or requirements?
So to some degree, yes, it does, right? So it says statewide, this thing's going to be allowed. And the state has done this before, right, in a few areas, and it's worked out great. So it used to be in Utah that some planning divisions told you how big you had to build the house. So they said, hey, look, in this area here, you got to build them at least 2,000 feet. In this area, they got to be at least 1,200 feet. But some time ago, it passed and said, look, if the home's bigger than 1,000 square feet, then the cities can't say no based on the size of the house. That's just one example. And you know what's gone wrong from the state saying that? Nothing. People that weight just got lifted off, and people could build a little bit smaller homes without the hassle. So this is just, in my mind, it is the state saying it, and the cities they would still have to plan. There's got to be enough roads there. There's got to be streetlights there. There's got to be sewers there, and all of those costs would be paid by the people who are buying the homes. That's called impact fees. So all that would stay in place. But if the builder came in and said, hey, this new area here, I'm going to put in 8 homes to the acre. They're going to be small, but this is just a new area, and people will know what they're buying when they're buying. but they want to buy a home, and these will cost less because they're small. Then we would let them build it.
So Representative Ray Ward joining us live right now talking about Utah's housing crisis is his idea to roll back some of the red tape or the roadblocks that are getting in the way of building more affordable, smaller homes across the state. Do you see a day where city planning commissions and, as Dave said, like planning divisions are no longer in existence, Representative?
Oh, gosh, no.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness, no. There's all kinds of very important things that they still do for planning the contours of the city. And there's with the other zoning requirements, there's hundreds of other zoning requirements. And all the time, the contractor will come in and say, well, look, I want to build this thing here, but these two rules, I would like an exception to them. And the planning commission will sit down and say, okay, look, you made this adjustment, you made this adjustment. We think that makes sense. And then they'll let them build it. And all of that should still be there. But this is carving out a couple of exceptions to that. And to me, we need small housing bad enough that it's time to carve out those exceptions.
Okay.
Is there a concern that if the developers come in and they're building these small homes, that it could overtax some of the infrastructure, some of the stuff we don't see, whether it's the water lines, sewer lines, whatever it might be?
So I guess you can think of two things. You can think of a neighborhood that's already built, and you can think of a new neighborhood that's being put in, right? And in both cases, the city can and does and will and should charge impact fees. They'll say, look, we have to build sewer lines out there. The rest of the residents in our town, they have already paid for their sewer lines. So these new homes will have to pay what it would cost for the sewer lines. And so they would need to make those calculations. But in general, cities know how to do that. If they thought they needed a larger sewer line because there are going to be more homes there, they would and should include that in the cost. And in the ones where you just build one or two little small homes in our neighborhoods, like where someone makes an accessory dwelling unit, which is sometimes called a mother-in-law apartment, they can also calculate that, and they can charge the builder more if they think there needs to be upgrades to the infrastructure. But the truth is, we got neighborhood after neighborhood that used to have 6 people living in the house, and now there's only 2 people living in the house.
Yeah.
And so if they built a small mother-in-law apartment and 2 more people moved in there, there's still less people flushing the toilet there than there used to be. So it's going to work out all right.
So Representative Ray Ward, before we let you go, I just want to get my non-contractor brain wrapped around this. If I just happen to go out and buy an acre of land today, which I won't, by the way, but I'm just thinking about this out loud from a perspective of how would this look in real life. If I bought an acre of land in a city that said, oh, you have to build 1 home per acre, what you're suggesting is that the Utah legislature do is make it easier for a developer like me, if I became one, to go in and say, no, I want to build 4 homes on that acre. And you have to let me, or you at least have to let me pitch the plan on this.
So it will split it out between neighborhoods that are already built out, right? So if a neighborhood's already built out and you're there, if you would be allowed. So there's already lots all built out there.
Yes.
You would be allowed to build an accessory dwelling unit. You'd be allowed to build 1 more.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to split it out so that in a new neighborhood where there's not already neighbors right next door to you, I am trying to make it so that then you could build more homes on that lot.
Oh, so I would have more freedom, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the contractor, the contractor's property. The contractor would be required to pay the cost of the infrastructure, which the city would tell them the proper amount, same as always. But then we would let them build 8 homes on that instead of 2 homes on that. And there's 6 more people who need a home, and they would like a smaller home that they could barely still afford to get into, but they cannot afford it if it's a home on a half an acre.
Wow.
Representative Ward, thank you for joining us. This is interesting, and we'll continue to follow this if this gets gains any traction.
Okay, let's take live calls because this is a fascinating development when it comes to dealing with Utah's housing crisis. 801-575-TALK, 801-575-TALK. Are you leaning in to Representative Ray Ward's plan? Let me build 4 homes, 5 homes, 8 homes on an acre lot if that's what I want to do. Look forward to your live calls next.
It's Friday.
Torch in your pocket and the wind at your heels. You climbed on the ladder and you know how it feels to get too high, too far, too soon. You saw the whole of the moon.
With Dave and Dujanovic.
When I was looking into losing some weight, there were a few things I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do surgery. I didn't want to do injections. Those were like top of the list. I would not do those. And then there was kind of the other things I didn't want to do. I didn't want any complicated point counting system. I didn't want any insane exercising. I didn't want to buy prepackaged meals. I had quite the list of things that I didn't want to do. And sure enough, Salt Lake City Fat Loss checked every one of those boxes when I joined their program. Many clients will lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, but they told me early on, they said, we have the secret to losing a pound of fat every day. And sure enough, I lost 57 pounds in just 60 days with their unique program. I lost it. I felt healthy. And again, I did it without surgery and I did it without injections. Go ahead and reach out to them. Find out for yourself. slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com.
At KSL News Radio, we have a 30-year legacy of honoring Utah teachers, but we can't do it without your help. Please tell us about an important teacher in your life on the KSL Teacher Tribute Wall, presented by Cypress Credit Union. Each month, one lucky teacher wins a $500 gift card from Cypress Credit Union, a $250 gift card to Harmon's, plus season tickets to Hale Center Theater. Say thanks to your teacher today at kslnewsradio.com/teacher from Cypress Credit Union and KSL News Radio.
Hello, this is Congresswoman Celeste Malloy. I'm running for re-election to represent you and keep Utah's conservative values in Washington, D.C. Like you, I'm tired of a government that spends too much, listens too little, and makes all of our lives harder. In Washington, I'm pushing back against bad ideas and liberal policies. Let me keep representing you so I can keep fighting for you, because we are just getting started. I'm Celeste Malloy, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Celeste for Congress.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Exciting news! Master Electrical Services has joined Mountain Home Services.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Amanda Dixon. First, the Cougars of BYU defend their undefeated record tomorrow afternoon as they face the Knights of Central Florida. We'll have extended coverage on KSL News Radio tomorrow beginning at 9 a.m. Second, a Wayne County man has been convicted of kidnapping a 19-year-old Snow College student and will be serving up to 20 years in prison. And third, tomorrow is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. So hospitals and local law enforcement are opening their doors to anyone who has leftover prescriptions that need to be disposed of. Right now, it's sunny and 43 degrees in Salt Lake. Back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
We just spoke live to Representative Ray Ward. He's got a new idea about dealing with Utah's housing crisis, and we know that a lot of Utahns have housing anxiety. They don't know what the future holds. There's not enough homes for future buyers, and his idea goes to removing roadblocks for developers to put more homes on a lot. And I think that's probably the simplest way to say it.
We have evidence that smaller homes cost less than bigger homes. Makes sense. We have homes that are built on smaller lots cost less than homes that are built on larger lots. So my idea is just to say, if someone wants to build a smaller home on a smaller lot, we should let them build that home.
Can I paint a little bit of that picture? Because I don't think a lot of people really understand or listen or think about developing their lot. But let me try to break that down a little bit. Let's say you have an acre lot. Now, many of us will live on a quarter acre. So boom, there's 4 houses that can be built on that lot. Well, you can certainly live on an eighth of an acre if you have a smaller home. So instead of having 4 on an acre, then you could have 8. That's pretty simple, right? The math is very easy. What happens oftentimes in cities is they have what's called minimum mandatory lots, where they say, I don't care what the size of the house is, we're going to count the first one as a quarter acre lot, and we're going to count the second one as a quarter acre lot. Even if you build a tiny home, it's still going to count as a quarter acre lot. What Representative Ward is saying is, if you're going to have a small lot and a small house, then it should count as a small house and a small lot. And that would allow developers to go in there and truly build up 8 houses on an acre instead of being artificially restricted by the city.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Hi. You live in Kaysville. What do you think of Representative Ward's idea to deal with the housing crisis?
I think that the housing crisis isn't as big a crisis as he thinks that it is.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What
do you mean by that?
I mean that there are apartments all over the state that are vacant. They're building more and more in Salt Lake City than they have people to live in them. That's what I mean by that. And West Kaysville is a great example of the infrastructure problem. They said 20, 30 years ago, we're going to have two houses per acre, 2 lots per acre, and they built out the sewer system to do all that. And they even built out to where they're going to. Now they're going in and buying up a piece of land, and the developers not only want to just put the 2.5 homes per acre, they want to build a housing complex there. They want to build apartments. And it is lower than the natural drainage of the sewer treatment plant they're going to have to pump it uphill to that. They're going to have to build out the sewer company. It is not just the connection fees. It's not just the impact fees that have an impact. And this way of thinking totally subverts the... I don't know how to say it.
It could change radically the neighborhood, right? What you purchase, what you expect, the design, it could be radically changed if developers are coming in. There's no master plan, and I think that's in part why some people would push against this. It's a little bit what I hear from you, as well as just the practicality of it. Now, the city planning division should take care of some of those infrastructure issues. If there's a problem and it doesn't work with the infrastructure, they will still have the freedom to be able to say, hey, this doesn't work. Or perhaps if there's going to be an upgrade in the system, then you, the developer, would have to pay for those impact fees to upgrade the infrastructure.
Dave, one of the things that Representative Ray Ward addressed was this was in no way a move to eliminate city planning divisions or planning commissions, that there's still certainly a role for them. But, I use the example of, like, if I went out and bought a 1 acre piece of property in a city that has a restriction that you have to build 1 home per acre, maybe it's even 1 home per half acre, which cities have had in place in some areas. And that is often an attempt to keep out, more high-density housing, apartments, to keep the area kind of the same as it's always been. But we're in a point now where more and more people are moving in, and we are going to start having to move out of the city areas because there is just more land. This is really, we're in a corridor here. I saw this in 1990 when I moved here. I'm not a developer. I have no idea about like what it takes to even build a home. But I looked around and I was like, they're going to run. This is south end of the valley is where everybody is going to go. And I said that because I grew up in Arizona, where that's exactly what happened, and I could see that was the only place to go. But if you're going out and buying a 1 acre piece of property, and let's say I was able to do that tomorrow, which I'm not, but I'm just using this as an example, and I wanted to put 4 homes on it instead of 1. Well, that makes sense. Not only for me, but it makes sense. Maybe I'm going to build homes and allow all my kids to purchase a home on that lot or build their own home on that lot, so we can cut the cost of what it costs to buy a home. But a lot of cities don't let that happen now, and that to me speaks to the heart of what Representative Ray Ward is trying to get at. It's not to eliminate planning divisions or, make master plans absolutely impossible to achieve, but it just seems sensible. And there's also this whole kind of thought process of, I own the land.
I can do with it what I want.
Well, as long as I'm not putting a landfill on it.
Yeah. I should have more freedom.
A chemical plant behind it. I understand those but if it's just, I want to put 4 homes on this 1 acre lot instead of 1 home, to me that there's some sensibility to that.
I'd like to address one more thing that our caller Jeff had brought up. He said there is a glut of housing that is out there. Just think of all the apartments that are popping up here down in Salt Lake City. Well, many of these apartments, they are for rent. They are not to buy. And that is one of the concerns that people have when these are not out, on the open market, and you just have to sign a lease.
Well, look, not everybody just wants to live in an apartment forever. I mean, I lived in apartments for a really long time. I live in a lot of apartments. I lived in a lot of apartments, and I would move apartments based on literally $100 a month savings sometimes. And that was not a goal that I had, to live in an apartment forever. It's a goal some people have, and it works for them. But I look at my kids and I think, do you want to live in an apartment for the rest of your life? Just because that's available to them does not mean that fits what they want. And if it's a too bad, so sad mentality among everybody else who already has a home, I just don't. I just don't see that being the solution. Is, well, just go live in an apartment.
No, I think the concern is that is the option. Is you can only rent from these instead of being able to purchase them. And that's something that cities could demand, is if you're going to build an apartment complex, then you're selling this and you're not just using it as a rental facility.
We just got word this morning that the number of E. coli cases regarding the McDonald's outbreak has gone up. And the Utah Department of Health is joining us with an update on how many people have been reported getting sick.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. Cottonwood Heights resident Jennifer Gledhill accused of shooting her husband, Matthew Johnson, in his sleep. And today now, a judge will determine if she'll be released on bail. In the meantime, investigators believe they're close to recovering Johnson's remains. They say Gledhill told an informant she buried his body in a shallow grave north of their home. Her parents have also now been arrested as part of that investigation. The Salt Lake City neighborhood that was flooded more than a year ago is hoping a restoration project will keep their homes safe in the future. Here's KSL News Radio's Claire Scott.
The $2 million project centers around the area of 17th South over Emigration Creek. The first item on the agenda is to fix an aging culvert, which directs the creek's water. The city told KSL.com that they were already planning on replacing the culvert before severe flooding in April of 2023 damaged the area. After that culvert is replaced, the next few months will focus on restoring the land hit hard by last year's runoff.
And the city officials tell KSL.com this project will also improve the stormwater system in that area. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Inflation in Russia running at 9.8%, with low unemployment pushing wages there higher.
The central bank has raised its key interest rate to 21%. Factories producing military goods for the war in Ukraine are running at full capacity. Here in the United States, the inflation rate has been running at about 2.5%. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average down on the day right now, 92 points, while the NASDAQ right now is up 206. And our KSL weather is going to get a little warmer before things cool off next week. That's next. KSL News, I'm Ben O'Hare.
It's a priority for us at this station to bring you all sides of a story and to talk about the news fairly, completely.
Get all the facts and be really aware. Utah's Morning News with us, Tim and Amanda.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Fall is here, and there's nothing better than to sit in a relaxing hot tub when it's cold outside. Hot Tub Factory Outlet and Backyards of America can help you save on your next hot tub. Save a staggering 30, 40, even 50% off MSRP on Sundance hot tubs and swim spas. Yes, you heard right. 30, 40, even 50% off. With every size and color available, your choices are limitless. And here's the icing on the cake. Be one of the first 20 buyers and receive a free $2,700 electric massage chair. Absolutely free. But hurry, these chairs are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. Every Sundance hot tub and swim spa is priced to sell. Visit the largest swim spa showroom in the state and find out how easy it is to say yes to your very own hot tub or swim spa. Time is running out. Head over to Hot Tub Factory Outlet next to Cowabunga Bay and Draper, Backyards of America in Sandy, and our new location, Station Park in Farmington.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Mark Christiansen.
Well, the freeways are working well. I-15 through the Salt Lake Valley, through Utah and Davis County, all in good condition. We've got construction delays showing up. This will be southbound 15 in Riverdale Roy, just about 5,800 south. The leading back to 4,100 south is when you'll see those brake lights. Bangerter is tough between 31st south, leading to the 201 if you're northbound. And out on Mountain View Corridor, northbound from Daybreak Parkway to just about the South Jordan Parkway. It's one lane coned off and looks more like a parking lot through the area there. Just use some caution as you're planning your travels through that area. Get Mr. Mac's Performance Missionary Package, 1 performance suit, 4 and collar stretch shirts, 3 ties, 1 mission belt, and 1 pair of Echo or Johnston & Murphy shoes, just $595. I'm Mark Christiansen in the KSL Traffic Center.
A little bit warmer today with a high of 66, and we'll get into the mid-70s this weekend, then drop back to the 60s on Monday. Tuesday will be colder with rain likely. Right now, we're at 47 degrees with sunny skies. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
So, there's new information out this morning from the CDC on the number of cases regarding the McDonald's E. coli outbreak that had to do with the quarter pounder. And of course, as we've been reporting here at KSL News Radio, we knew that right away that they had pulled the quarter pounder as an option from the menu. But now it also seems like out of an abundance of caution, because it appears that this involves the onions. That some Burger King locations have removed onions from the menu. Not many, although Burger King is a huge chain, so it's like 5%. And then also KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. Also, in some cases, looks like they're removing the onions as well. And this is just out of an abundance of caution. It's to our knowledge, they haven't received an E. coli notice, Dave, those restaurants, but McDonald's or an onion notice from the manufacturer, the distributor. But these other restaurants, you might not be able to find onions there either.
Yes, and even at McDonald's, they are still offering things on their menu that have onions. This is a very specific kind of onion. They do have some chopped onions that come from a different supplier that are prepared differently, that don't cross-contaminate with the fresh onions. This seems to be a problem with the fresh onions, the fresh sliced onions at McDonald's. But as you said, KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, some of these places have removed onions, again, out of an abundance of caution.
Now, earlier this week, when the story first started to develop, and there were 49 cases at the time, we spoke with Delaney Moore, an epidemiologist with the Utah Department of Health, and there were 49 cases across the country. And at the time, there were 4 E. coli cases reported in Utah. The bulk of the cases of that original batch were coming out of Colorado. But Delaney, thanks for joining us again. We're hearing that the CDC has updated those numbers. What is the Utah Department of Health hearing about the latest totals in this McDonald's E. coli outbreak?
So good to be back. And like you mentioned, we do have more cases. Nationally, we're looking at 75. And here in Utah, we've gone up from 4 to 5. This is not unusual. We definitely expected to see more cases. It takes a little bit of time between when people eat something to getting sick and to getting that illness investigated. So it's about a 3 to 4 week delay. So it's not unusual that we're going to see these increases in cases just due to that delay in people getting tested and doing public health investigations.
It does seem like it has been limited or narrowed down to the raw onions that were the problem. Is there a big cross-contamination issue if the onions are found to have E. coli?
So we are still investigating. It looks like ground beef, those quarter-pounder patties, and the onions are still 2 of the top hypotheses, but we've definitely heard more about the onions in the last few days due to that recall by Taylor Farms, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute. As far as cross-contamination, yeah, it's definitely going to be a risk. But that is something that McDonald's is going to be working on mitigating, and they're going to be doing that in conjunction with our federal partners, so the CDC, FDA, et cetera. They're all working together to make sure that that cross-contamination risk is minimized.
Well, I want to be clear about this, and you alluded to this, Delaney, just a few seconds ago, that these other fast food restaurants, Burger King, Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut, that are removing onions out of an abundance of caution. I don't know that we have any information to suggest there's been any illnesses as a result of people eating at those restaurants, but certainly what the CDC has issued is the concern over the McDonald's quarter pounders. So it seems like other restaurants are just taking steps to be cautious. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Right now, our data that we're seeing from our investigations is still really strongly pointing towards McDonald's. Now, that data can definitely change as we investigate more, but, it's never bad to be cautious.
Should I be concerned at all about the onions that I buy at the grocery store that may be sitting in my, in my house?
No, not at this moment. So due to the actions taken by McDonald's and Taylor Farms, especially with their voluntary recall, we believe the risk to the public is very low. And Taylor Farms has reached out to all of the customers that purchased those implicated or the onions of concern at this point. And it looks like most of those customers were firm, a big firm like McDonald's. They were more like that rather than individual customers at a grocery store.
Delaney Moore is epidemiologist with the Utah Department of Health. We're talking about the McDonald's E. coli outbreak involving the quarter pounder. The number of cases has grown across the country to 75. We now have 5 reported cases here in Utah. Delaney, I asked you earlier this week, or we asked you when you were on the air with us, do we have a region or a particular restaurant in the McDonald's family here in Utah where these cases originated from? And then also I'd like you to follow up, if you could let us know, like, how sick the patients here in Utah got, if you can give us some sort of an idea on that.
Yeah, so because these are still under investigation and due to patient privacy, we can't share that. But what I can tell you is that these products, these onions and then the ground beef patties that we're looking at, they have been taken out of all the McDonald's here in Utah. So it wouldn't have been just a problem at one specific location. It would have been all of them. And then as far as illness severity, again, we can't talk specifically about individual cases, but this is a pretty severe illness. If you look nationally, there has been 1 death. And this particular type of E. coli can cause some really serious complications. One in particular that we see is a type of kidney failure. People end up in the hospital with this, so definitely not something to take lightly.
Is it something that they get so sick that they can become dehydrated from?
Yes, that is a big concern. So one of the messages that we really want to get out there to people is if you're having some of these E. coli symptoms like diarrhea, bloody diarrhea is another big one, and you're getting really dehydrated. So you're not going pee quite as much, you have a really dry mouth and throat, or you feel dizzy when you stand up, it's definitely time to call a doctor and get seen so that way you can be treated and make sure that you're okay.
I started to tell our listeners about this yesterday and didn't have quite a chance to finish, but many, many years ago, not related at all to this outbreak or McDonald's, it was another fast food restaurant that I had eaten at. What I found is I got very, very sick, and I did report it to the health department because I was just so sick. I was nervous that other people would have gotten sick, and they did say like dozens of other people had reported an illness from eating at this same particular restaurant. But what I learned from that, Delaney, was my onset of symptoms was several days removed from when I ate at that restaurant, and it really taught me a lesson that you just don't, like, you might feel fine for several days and then you get sick. And at the time, I did not equate or connect the dots that it was this other restaurant that I'd eaten at many, many days earlier. So remind us how long these symptoms can take to manifest.
Yeah, that is a really great point and something we see a lot. Everyone tends to blame the last meal that they ate, and that's not always accurate. So for E. coli, symptoms usually start about 3 to 4 days after you eat the meal that is contaminated. It could be as quick as 1 day. It could be up to 7. We normally see 3 to 4. And, you know, if you have an experience like you're talking about where you get sick and you think it's a particular restaurant and you want to talk to the health department about it, you can go to igotsick.health.utah.gov and you can report that directly to us. With the caveat that, you know, if you're having those severe symptoms, make sure you go see a doctor too.
A final question: Can you protect yourself if you're concerned about E. coli? Can it be killed if you're heating it up to a certain temperature? Is this one that just you can't freeze, or can you heat it up?
Yeah, so you can kill E. coli if it's cooked up to a certain temperature. The best thing to do if you're worried about E. coli in meat, we hear a lot about. The USDA has a great resource on how long to cook certain proteins for and to what temperature. So, for example, chicken needs to be up to 165. There's a great list. As far as the concern with E. coli in this particular outbreak, again, we do think due to those actions taken by Taylor Farms and McDonald's, we think the risk to the public is very low right now.
Well, thank you for joining us, Delaney Moore, an epidemiologist with the Utah Department of Health.
Straight ahead, the owner of an NHL team, the Tampa Lightning, giving employees, get this, $20 million in bonuses after selling a majority stake in the team. Let's chat about employer generosity, shall we? Straight ahead.
It's finally Friday. with Dave and Dujanovic. We're just 10 days away from the historic 2024 election.
I'm running for governor because you deserve partisanship, not unchecked power.
It's been an honor of a lifetime to serve as your governor. We've accomplished so much together.
Do your homework and get your ballot in the mail. Election week is coming, and we have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Every year, we seem to have a few people trying to get our free furnace promotion after the sale is ended. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I know you want to save as much money as you can, but that's not how sales work. When they're over, they're over. Lucky for you, we still have a few more spots on our schedule we need to fill, so I'm extending the sale, but I'm not quite sure for how much longer. Definitely no later than the end of October, and once I think our schedule's full enough, I gotta pull these ads, so don't wait too long to call and schedule your free estimate. Just to recap, when you have Any Hour Services install a new air conditioner, we'll give you a new furnace for just the cost to install it. About $400. The furnace is free, you just pay the labor. So if your furnace and air conditioner are ready to be replaced, don't be one of those people that wishes they had called and taken advantage of our free furnace sale. The estimate's free, and we'll make sure you have all of the information you need to decide if our free furnace sale is right for you. If you think you might be interested, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
It's the movie show, guys. Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales. The movie show coming live today from NPS in Salt Lake at 1600 South Empire Road. And, you know, we always say it's a nice place to save, but I'm convinced that's not going far enough, Julie. It's nicest place to save.
Oh, I love that.
Like the top.
That is great. Thank you.
And we love to shop
feel the
here.
Same way.
I've already got some things that I've got set aside to go buy when I finish the movie show today to go home, and I will make sure I go through some more stuff later. Thank heavens today is payday because I have a candy bar.
Oh, there you go.
That's what you get instead of money.
But you know what? It's Halloween coming this week.
Yes, it is.
And the best place to stock up on your candy to give out, why not get the best candy for the lowest price? And at NPS, you guys have got stuff. What do you got?
Love it.
Everything that you need for decorating.
Mm-hmm.
We have the customs, everything half off. We have incredible prices. Come over. You can get your Halloween custom, for 50% off.
This is perfect. You get the Halloween decorations. You get them all up by this weekend.
Yeah.
And then you're the hit of the block for the rest of the week because Halloween's like 5 days away still, 6 days away still.
It's crazy.
What other good deals you guys have for our listeners today? Because you treat Movie Show and KSL so well here at NPS. On top of your base prices, which are already so low for new items, 30 to 70% off, what have we got going today?
So we have these selected movie candy tins. You have to come and see them.
That looks familiar.
99 cents. Can you believe
I feel
it?
like if you say that tin's name more than once, something might happen.
Like 3 times?
Maybe.
No, twice.
Who knows?
No, it's twice.
Probably 3.
Is it 3 times?
Yeah,
okay.
3.
Yeah.
Yes, we have this selected 16-ounce wrapped candy for $1.99.
Yes, we're not allowed to tell you the brand, but you'll recognize it, I promise.
Yes, and we have this one selected double chocolate chip cookies.
Yum, yum.
And I noticed that one's already open, so we'll be sampling that on the movie show here.
Yeah, I'd like to try some.
This is the place to come. If you're going to do your shopping this weekend, come to NPS to get the grocery at the best price. And then if you need clothes, I see you guys have another 50% off the already low price already here. Deals in every store, is that right?
That's right, in every store.
And so make sure you come and check it out either in Layton, here in Salt Lake, or in Orem at NPS.
This is Jeff Stout with Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. There are lots of mortgage lenders out there, so why choose Fink and McGregor? Here are some good reasons. We are a broker. That means we can shop loan terms on your behalf, including loan programs, rates, and closing costs. We make it easy. We can take your application within a few short minutes, either on the phone or in person, on our fast application website, 4minutemortgage.com. We can help sift through options to find the best solution for you. This can include loan programs, credit fixes, or loan strategies. We are fast, really fast. Most loans close within a couple weeks. Start to finish, we are here for you. Apply today at 4minutemortgage.com. Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple, 801-264-9494. That's 264-9494 or on the web at finkmcgregor.com, NMLS 289115.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, a woman accused of murdering her husband in Cottonwood Heights appears in court today. Second, the war in Ukraine pushing inflation to record highs in Russia. And third, a BYU victory at UCF could put the Cougars in the top 10 nationally. 47 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. And back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Well, just before we were running into studio this morning for the show, Dave spots a story about the Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team and the owner. Did he sell a majority of the stake in the in the team?
Yeah, he sold a big chunk of his team, most of the team, and what he did next. I don't know if I've ever heard of this before, Debbie.
Oh,
we sell, all the time. Ryan Smith bought the Jazz a few years ago, and then this year he just bought the Utah Hockey Club. So buying and selling teams, that happens all the time. I've never heard of an owner doing this.
Giving bonuses to their employees?
It's not, okay.
Well,
bonuses is one thing.
Okay.
There's got to be a different word for this bonus.
You're talking about professional sports, but here's somebody who's given lots of bonuses to her employees. I'm so sick of running as fast as I can. Wondering if I'd get there quicker if I was a man.
Tay-Tay?
Yeah. I felt like when I saw how much money she was giving to employees in bonuses, I thought she's the most generous woman on the face of the planet. Of course, made herself a billionaire, and then has been sharing her wealth with her employees. We'll get into that in just a moment. Let's get back to Dave's story about professional sports. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning. The owner's name is Jeff Vinnick. Did I say that right, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I've gotten right when it comes to professional sports in a hot minute. Okay. So he sells the team for how much? $1.8 billion?
Yeah, $1.8 billion.
So he's going to allocate $20 million in bonuses to the 300 employees.
Yeah, these are the full-time employees. There's about 300 of them. Now, this can be staff that is actually helping coordinate logistics. It can be folks that help run the stadium, a lot of different people, but about 300 employees. But $20 million, that's about a $50,000 or $60,000, almost a $70,000 bonus for people.
Can you imagine?
Your boss sells the team and you get a chunk of it? I've never heard that.
It's a way to say thank you.
It's a fantastic thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate all you've done for the organization, for what you've done for the community, for what you've done to bring smiles to the fans' faces, to keep the operation running. And it seems, I mean, this is extremely generous, $50,000 to $60,000. I look at that and I'm like, good. Set the pace. Be the pace car for other employers. I mean, for saying thank you. And it's, I understand everybody, it's not a charity, as you often say, running a business isn't a charity. But for somebody at the top of an organization who doesn't have to do this, he can take his money and walk away, is so extremely generous and can be life-changing for the people who have given their all. Let's face it, we all know as employees, whether it doesn't matter where you work, so often you go over and above. Now, I was at a Utah Hockey Club game this week with my daughter. We had a fantastic time. And as we were walking around the Delta Center, I noticed a lot of people with the badges on that I appear to work for the Delta Center, or were serving concessions, or work for the hockey club serving. I mean, I understand that could be different organizations who do all that. But what I would just want to say, our experience was phenomenal. The way they greeted us long before we ever got through the doors to explain what door to walk through was incredible. I literally thought the man who was walking up to me to ask me to see our digital tickets, at first I got super suspicious. I'm like, he's trying to steal information from my iPhone. Because this is how we think, right? And he's like, oh, no, I'm just trying to tell you what door to walk. I'm like, who is this angel person? So we went through the right door. We got in the right line. We didn't waste a bunch of time getting confused. We went to the wrong section, as I always do at the Delta Center. And then the person greeted us and put us in the other section. Super helpful. The people serving concessions were super nice. In fact, he asked my daughter, who's 24 years old, he turned to her and said, and what does your daughter want? Like I was like, what a compliment, right? So these folks make the operation sing, and they make the fans happy, and they bring the experience to a whole new level. I love this. $50,000 to $66,000 in bonuses, depending on the employee. Awesome.
Vinnick bought the Tampa Bay Lightning about 14 years ago, just to speak how much the NHL has grown in the last 10 to 15 years. He paid $170 million for the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2010. Now we just sold it for $1.8 billion. I mean, how
much did you buy it for, Dave?
$170 million.
What?
Yeah, and now it's worth $1.8 billion.
I mean,
well, that's what it cost back then. The NHL is not what the NHL is now.
Incredible.
The value, the TV contracts have absolutely exploded.
So he's good at investments.
Well, at least this one. You don't need to be good in many investments, but when you hit gold like this, it's a fantastic payout. So when he sells it and he makes more than $1 billion, to be able to share that with the rest of the employees. Now, there's going to be people out there that say, "Oh, he made $1.8 billion. He's only giving out $20 million in bonuses."
Yeah, whatever. I don't.
You do it.
Yeah.
You spend your $20 million how you want to. I'm going to celebrate this. Let's throw this guy a parade.
Well, I just thank you. I mean, thank you for doing that for your employees.
Yes.
Taylor Swift, she's been doing this for quite some time. We talked about it when she gave away $100,000 bonuses to each of the 50 truck drivers of her tour. She did that last year. That was more than $5 million in bonuses. She gave them $100,000 each, and these people are hustling, right? I mean, they're hustling to get the stage broken down. They load up the trucks. They drive to the next city. They got to get there on time and pack. I mean, it's got to be grueling work. $100,000 is again life-changing. And then she gives bonuses over $55 million to her dancers, sound techs, the catering staff, and others who work to get her show up and running every time she performs. And she's been performing to phenomenal crowds in the time that she's been on tour. I mean, she's been on tour forever. She's become a billionaire. She's sharing her wealth and paying it forward to the people who have helped put her in that position.
This is gonna shock you. Taylor Swift on the Eras tour. So she's been touring for a long time. The Washington Post estimates that she brought in personally stood to make $4.1 billion. Mm-hmm. She could have purchased the Tampa Bay Lightning twice.
Let's take phone calls. 801-575-TALK. Do you have a generous boss? Do you have a generous employer? Or are they stingy? 801-575-TALK. Looking forward to your live phone calls on this Friday.
So I leap from the gallows and I levitate down your street. Crash the
straight ahead.
It's 10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints announced today that President Russell M. Nelson will dedicate the Deseret Peak, Utah Temple on Sunday, November 10th in Tooele. That dedication will be a milestone for the church, marking its 200th operating temple worldwide. The ceremony will be broadcast to church meeting houses in the Temple District. And it's homecoming for the Knights of Central Florida. So the players and coaches at BYU not taking the game for granted. A win could move the Cougars into the top 10 in national polls. Offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick says he's told the team not to focus on that.
Wasn't that long ago nobody thought we were any good, and so I've told all the guys that was nonsense then, and then all the praise and stuff you get now is nonsense too. All that matters is playing well against UCF on Saturday. You know, it sounds boring, but it's a one-game season. Go beat UCF and then see where you're at.
Kickoff for the game set for 1:30 Utah time, but you can get started at 9 a.m. with an extended pregame show here on KSL News Radio. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Tropical storm Trami has killed at least 65 people in the northern Philippines. Landslides and extensive flooding forced authorities to scramble for more boats. Many people have been trapped on rooftops. The storm dropped 2 months of rainfall in just 24 hours in some areas of the northern Philippines. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average down on the day 51 points, while the NASDAQ is up right now, 236. Our KSL weather, we have sunshine and things are a little bit warmer today. That's coming up. KSL News Time, 10:32.
Here's a way to get breaking news updates anywhere you go.
At the store or in a work meeting, you can get breaking news on your phone.
You can quickly read it, swipe, or click for more. It's super discreet, super fast.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
It's the movie show, guys. Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales. The movie show coming to you live today from NPS. We're at the Salt Lake store. Easy access right off California Avenue, right off Redwood Road at 1600 South Empire Road. And if you've never been to NPS, first of all, how dare you? And second of all, you should come here and check out
We're gonna
the
go shame on this one.
amazing deals and prices on things. I promise you, after you've come once, you're going to want to come a whole bunch of different times because it is so you just won't believe the deals that you'll get on name brand things, and you'll walk out of here paying way less than
By
you
the
thought.
way, such a deal that I bought Halloween candy 2 months ago. Huge mistake because
you already ate it.
I come back and still get a great deal on more candy.
Yes, and that's the thing. So you guys had such a good deal, Igor and Julie, that this is the first year ever we get to give out the full-size candy bars at my house because you had such a good deal on this particular name brand of candy bar.
Is it that one right there?
It's this brand, yes. And I bought me a whole huge box that we're going to be the awesome house on the street.
Yeah, I bought that
this year.
same box. It's diminished a little bit. Somehow it just evaporated.
Yeah, I wonder where it could have gone.
And they're really good. They're really, really
the movie
good.
show. It goes with the movie.
It's true. We've got actual movie-related candy that you can buy in the tin for how much, Igor?
99 cents.
99 cents for this. Plus, you've got wrapped candy. This is the stuff that, especially, look,
In
some
bulk.
people don't want to break the budget on their candy that they got to give out. My mom was one of those people famously. She thought trick-or-treating was legalized begging. She always did it, but she didn't like it.
Legalized begging.
So
here's your candy.
So but if the candy budget's tight, this is the place to come and get it.
That's true.
Yeah.
What other deals you guys got going for us today? You usually have some good produce deals, Igor.
Yes, look at this. We have the 10-pound bag of different kinds of apples, all kinds from Galas to
And
Fuji's.
they're huge.
Those are
they're
massive
beautiful.
apples.
They are big
How
apples.
do you like them apples?
No kidding. Do you guys have caramel on sale also, just out of curiosity?
I'll go and check.
Oh, I
Most
see.
likely we do, yes.
I see where you're headed.
And this is $4.99 only for 10 pounds.
Oh.
10 pounds for $4.99.
10 pounds. Is that good at all stores or just the Salt Lake store?
I think all the stores.
All the stores have
All
it.
right. So you guys have deals on grocery. You have deals on merchandise. We will talk about all of those things as we go and power on the movie show today from NPS at 1600 South Empire Road in Salt Lake. But they've also got one in Layton and one in Orem.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Mark Christiansen.
An earlier accident southbound I-15, Riverdale Roy, right to about 5800 south on I-15, took up the two right lanes, and traffic was really backed up. They've cleared the accident now, but you're still going to see the back end of those brake lights as you come by the Hinckley Airport if you're headed southbound on I-15 through that same area there. Give it another 10, 15 minutes and you'll be up to freeway speeds for that whole stretch there. Also, still looking at the Mountain View Corridor northbound, Daybreak Parkway to about South Jordan Parkway. They've got one lane coned off, one lane making it through there, plus the lights as they change. It's just a huge parking lot, probably to avoid, I would say, for the next several hours. UDOT construction alert. Plan ahead as southbound 215 in West Valley City is down to one lane each night through Saturday, followed by a full closure of the freeway on Sunday night for bridge repairs. Mark Christiansen in the KSL Traffic Center.
A little bit warmer today, a high of 66. We get into the mid-70s for the weekend, then drop back into the 60s on Monday. Tuesday, colder with rain likely. 48 degrees and sunny right now. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com, where Utah's news, traffic, and weather stays.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
Dave and I are falling all over ourselves after he pointed out that the Tampa Bay Lightning NHL owner had sold a majority of equity in his team there in Florida. And he turns around and tells his employees, I'm going to split $20 million between y'all. And his 300 employees are getting significant bonuses between $50,000 and almost $70,000 just in a bonus.
I thought you made a very, very good point when you said this could be life-changing money. This is the money that gets you into a house. Yeah. It's a down payment. It's closing costs. Maybe it puts a kid through college. Like when you get $60,000 in a bonus that you were totally not expecting, and you were probably in a little bit of a panic mode when the owner sells the team. You don't know if the team's going to pack up and move and go somewhere else. So you are stressing out. You don't know what your future looks like. And then the owner comes in as he is flush with cash. Billionaire now. He bought the Tampa Bay Lightning for $170 million back in 2010. And now he's making $1.8 billion. And then to share it with your employees that were with you, that is just so incredibly cool to me.
It shows you're valued. And it doesn't have to be $50 or $60 or $70,000, but it has to be to the point where when you're doing something like this, and this is far beyond generous, that you feel valued. You feel valued as an employee, that the employer recognizes how much effort, time away from your family that you've taken to make their business run smoothly, that they can count on you every day. And these 300 employees have likely, I would imagine, if it's anything like what I experienced my daughter and I had this week at the Utah Hockey Club game, they're all the difference. You know, they make or break the fan experience. The next day, my daughter's like, I'm so excited to go back to work tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, really? Why? And she goes, because I got to tell everybody about the fun time I had at the Delta Center with my mom at the Utah Hockey Club game, her first NHL game. And you know what she told me while I was sitting there, Dave? And this is the value of employees. I want 2 Utah Hockey Club tickets for my birthday because she wants to take her boyfriend. And that's what she wants. Yeah. And this is what a good experience means, and that's why employees are so important to value.
Yeah, and it works on every level, right?
Yeah.
And when you walk away with a good experience, you get more than you expected. Jenny in Holiday. Jenny, have you ever had a good experience with a generous boss?
I do. I work for a great company. I work for eBay, and every 5 years that you're with them, they'll give you a whole month off with pay. They call it a sabbatical. And you can do whatever you want, and you still get paid for that whole month off.
Jenny.
It's really great. I'm going on my 3rd sabbatical next year.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. And Jenny, as a result of that, do they keep good employees around, do you think?
I believe so. I mean, I don't necessarily stick around because of the sabbatical. There's other great things that eBay does because it's just a great company all around, but that's just a huge perk. And, I was just, every time I tell somebody that, they're just blown away.
They're literally on the eBay website looking for job openings. That's how blown away they are. Jenny, great story. Thanks so much. So glad that your employer is doing that for you and others.
The thing we've forgotten a little bit in this country is how valuable some of these incentives are. Now, this was a big surprise gift. Nobody saw this $60,000 bonus coming from the hockey owner, right? No one saw that coming. But to Jenny's point, if your company offers a sabbatical, a month off, once every 5 years.
A reset.
It is.
It's a reset.
But what it does to me is, say I've been working there for 9 years and I'm wearing out a little bit, and I think, yeah, but if I stay another year, then I get the sabbatical. Maybe that recharges the batteries. There's also smaller things that companies do that I appreciate. I don't in any way expect a company to come out with a $60,000 bonus, right? That's what my salary is for. That's what I'm grateful for the money they pay me. I've negotiated this, and I'm grateful for that. So anything else I get is gravy. But I will tell you, one that stands out in my mind is it was my birthday, and they threw a little surprise party at Dave & Buster's, and we all gathered together as a team, and we had lunch, and there were balloons, and I got tater tots. I have an obsession with tater tots. I love tater tots.
I didn't know that meant so much to you.
It does.
That's awesome.
That's that kind of stuff.
Your birthday's coming up. Let's do that again.
I love it. I'm
okay.
in.
On our text line at 57500, this listener says, that kind of money would pay off my loans, my student loans, and change my family's financial outlook. And you brought this up earlier. I did too. It's a game changer, right? It's a game changer. And I'll tell you what else I think it does when I see stories like this. And I've seen, we talked about Taylor Swift being very generous with her employees who have been working so hard to keep her tour running for so long. It makes me smile. You hear so often about, companies that are barely paying their employees, or employees that are having to work, 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. We've done stories on that, where in some industries, it's kind of the worst kept secret that when you get into the industry, you're going to be working Monday through Sunday, or you're going to be working 10-hour days. I think about people who are in the business of CPAing, and I think about what January through April must look like for them. I mean, until tax day passes, it's a level of appreciation to say thank you, just thank you. And I think your point, Dave, is well taken. It doesn't have to be a massive dump of cash. It can be, hey, you know what? You've been working really hard. Just take a week off to reset your batteries. Let's go over and celebrate some great win you've had at work with a couple of your fellow employees that have been so supportive of you, and celebrate it across the street at Dave & Buster's, where you can play skee ball.
I love skee ball.
I do too.
And I love the VR thing.
I want to face off with you at ski. Is it skeet or is it ski? Skee ball. It's S-K-E-E.
Skee ball, yeah. Skeet is what you shoot out of the air.
I'm phenomenal at that game. That and ping pong. I'll take you I'll take you on a
There's
ping
the
pong.
battle.
And I'm terrible at basketball. Don't get me in front of a basketball hoop. But skee ball, yeah.
All day.
All day long. Yeah, we'll have some tater tots right on that.
I love tater tots. All right. Very cool story. Well done. And any employer out there that wants to give a $50,000 bonus, I would like to say I give that a gold star endorsement. Go ahead. Feel free.
Straight ahead, the movie guys are up. This is KSL Movie Show, which is on tap for, just after 11 o'clock, and the big movie of the week.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Let's talk scary movies next.
It's Friday. With Dave and Dujanovic.
So you're the person that has been assigned the responsibility to make the upcoming holiday season extra special for your company, for the employees, and for those amazing clients of yours, especially maybe the ones that need a little extra tender loving care. This is why so many people in your position, they turn to the Western Nut Company. You're going to find nuts of every kind and special gift baskets that are spectacular. And it goes above and beyond the special goodies to eat. They have amazing decorations there as well. It's time to call the Western Nut Company or drop by their flagship store at 434 South on 3rd West or go online at westernnut.com. And don't forget that Thanksgiving, too, is just around the corner. And if you're looking for the perfect hostess gift, you've been invited to dinner, well, take a little gift from the Western Nut Company. Go to westernnut.com, drop by 434 South on 3rd West, or give them a call, the Western Nut Company.
It's the movie show, guys, live from NPS at 1600 South Empire Road. They got 4 locations, though, and you really ought to check them out because I was saying, Steve, that it's not just a nice place to save. It's the nicest place to save.
I like that. That actually works.
And you come in here, you can get deals on everything from electronics to clothes to bedding. You go over to the industrial side right on the other side of the street here from where we're sitting, and you can get things on tools. You can get all kinds of stuff. These are the deals they've got going right now. First of all, they're getting ready for Halloween. You can get wrapped candy. I forget what the price was. I've got the list right here. The wrapped candy, $1.99 for a big box of, let's see how many pieces. It's a full bag. So for a couple of bucks, you can give out a ton of Halloween candy.
Or you can get
the
the full bars for like.
Or we were looking at these brand name candy bars, king size, 2 for $1. A box of 18 is $9. You can be the king of the block, just like I'm going to be when I give out these at my house.
See, the problem is when you do that, then the word gets out, and then you'll have every kid within a mile radius.
We've also got double chocolate chip cookies, that a bag of them for 99 cents.
Yeah.
Great
And
deals. You got
how about
Halloween
that 10-pound
parties.
bag of apples for $4.99?
10 pounds of apples for $4.99. They got selected 24-count string cheese for $2.99 plus 10% off string cheese. If you've got kids, you usually have string cheese in your refrigerator
Required
drawers.
by law.
50% off furniture and mattresses going on right now, 50% off doormats and rugs. And this is on top of, when we're talking about retail merchandise, Steve, on top of the 30 to 70% off.
Didn't they also mention the costumes are 50% off?
Costumes 50% off, Halloween decorations 50% off. Come get your Halloween decorations now. You've still got a week before Halloween. You can get all the decorations for great price and have them all up before Halloween actually rolls around. Great deals. Each store has its own unique sales going on. So if you go to the Layton one, they'll have a couple of deals that they don't have here at Salt Lake, but they'll have some here at Salt Lake that they won't have at Layton or Orem. So go to any of the 4 NPS locations and take advantage of these deals.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will preside at the dedication of the new Deseret Peak Temple in Tooele next month. Second, a win against UCF this weekend could land the BYU Cougars in the national top 10. And third, Tropical Storm Trami has killed at least 65 people, caused extensive flooding in the northern Philippines. 48 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. And back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic. The following preview has been rated G and is appropriate for all audiences.
Movie guys are up now and next. And the movie of the week, the big movie of the week, Venom, The Last Dance. Eddie and Venom are on the run. Is that part of the title?
No, it's called The Last Dance. Eddie and Venom are on the run is more like a sub-tagline, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're on the run from a lot of things.
I love how you guys set me up for failure, like every week.
We do our
I'm
best.
looking at this, I'm like, this is a really
Well, these
long title.
Yeah, these
And
titles
guys
you
are
never
like,
know.
Slow down, Deb. It's The Last Dance. How is it? Did you guys like it?
Well, so here's the thing. I have very strong opinions about comic book related things because I was a nerd. Am a nerd. You can say am. It's probably both true. But, and this was a similar problem that I had with Joker a few weeks ago.
Wah.
Stop it. When you're going to make a movie about somebody who's so closely associated with another character and you do it without that other character, then it's missing something.
Oh, okay. So because Joker doesn't
Because you're
fight
making
Batman.
a Joker movie that has nothing to do with Batman.
You see Wayne Enterprises on a building.
Well, all right, congratulations. You proved that you're in the same world. Also, he paints his face and calls himself Joker. But in Venom literally is one of Spider-Man's costumes that bonds with somebody else to become one of Spider-Man's greatest villains. That's what made him cool in the first place. That's why people would want to see a Venom movie, is his relationship to Spider-Man. And now we've had 3 movies where he lives in a universe where Spider-Man doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's the problem with this movie.
No, there are other problems. But that is the fundamental problem for me. Now, having said that, I enjoyed the first movie a little bit. It was funny. It's got kind of a buddy cop vibe. Debbie, I'm assuming you have not even watched a trailer for any of the Venom movies.
I have good intentions.
No, this is an intention you can leave undone.
Well,
It's fine.
and you guys know me well enough to know this is probably not in my wheelhouse of things I want to do on a Friday night, but I am committed to going to Saturday night.
Okay, that's good.
No, I am committed to that. I've already laid the groundwork for that. So
I'm curious if you're
going
to see Conclave.
All you have to do is buy a ticket.
I do. I know. Well, I also have to make a little time, Steve. Okay.
Oh, I see. Busy
I'm
schedule.
booked and busy. But yeah, no, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to Saturday night for sure. But this is more in Dave's wheelhouse.
Okay, I
was going to ask Dave if he liked the other Venom movies.
Okay, so this is as good of an example as I can think of, where if you take a great actor, you can take a mediocre script or even a bad script and make it good or make it fun. And that's exactly what Tom Hardy is for me. I think he's such a phenomenal actor that he can suck me into a movie, which is exactly what he did in the first one. And all of a sudden I fell in love with the character because it was fun. It wasn't overly serious. So often we get these movies, these comic book movies, and they are so serious, so melodramatic even, that this is what I liked about Tom Hardy's portrayal, is I thought Venom, of all the characters out there, is fun.
That's exactly what you're going to get this time.
And that actually is the one thing this series does well, is it doesn't take itself too seriously. Yeah. And that was what I like. So to me, Venom: The Last Dance hews much closer to Venom, the original movie, than Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which was the last one, which I hated the second one.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's how good it was.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you guys have so much insight on these, all of you. Honestly, it's super impressive. So, Anna, you were going to make another comment. I didn't mean to.
Well, no, I was
just
just
going to
say
a compliment.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I'll always stop for a compliment. No, but I was just going to say, if you can go, for me, I say if you go in with your expectations on the floor, I actually think you'll be entertained, because I was entertained, and it was better than the last one. But saying it was better than the last one is, as they say, damning with faint praise.
Yeah. The movie to see this week is Conclave, if you want to know as far as big movies.
This one
and which one's
very
good?
Interesting.
Oh, it's
Electing
already
a Pope
top,
is like, wow.
Top 5 of the year for me.
Really?
Yeah, that's how well shot, well written, well acted.
Gorgeous.
It's just
Do you think,
so good.
Do you think this would be a good one for me?
Well, that's what I was just curious. I will talk about it in the movie show, but
Okay,
there's
I'll
one
listen.
twist at the very, very end that I wonder if active practicing Catholics would maybe have an issue with at the very, very end. But it wouldn't be all. It would just be some.
Okay. Well, now you have me intrigued, and so I'll be listening to the movie show as you guys,
We'll
give
try to
us your
spoil it
takes
for
on
you.
that. Yeah, no, do.
So just to be
I'm
clear,
interested.
Conclave is kind of watching the process of electing a new pope. Is that right?
Correct.
That's it. Yep.
Well,
They
look
kind of did this in Angels and Demons, if you remember the Dan Brown movie. But this is way more respectful of the process. Like, that was done just for pure entertainment, and there's a murder plot, and there's none of that in this. They're not trying to figure out how come the Pope is dead. It's just
he's dead.
He's passed on natural causes, and this is the process.
Okay. Well, I'm intrigued now, so I'll listen to your analysis of it on the movie show. Question of the week: your favorite scary movie?
Well, it's Halloween coming up, and so part of the fun of going to the movies, and there's always some horror movie that makes $1 bajillion that I, for the life of me, can't understand why people go see, but they do.
Okay, so what's yours, Andy?
My favorite, I'm such a chicken. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Well, he won't chase us anymore. And another thing, Mr. Chick Young, the next time that I tell you that I saw something when I saw it, you'll believe me that I...
Oh, that sounds super scary, Andy.
Okay, look.
Holy
that's my scary level of tolerance. I'll just tell you that. But it's got the original Universal monsters. Bela Lugosi as Dracula. Lon Chaney is the Wolfman. It is scary at moments, but it's also hilarious, and it balances them well. That's what I need.
So like you have scary seen a by movie. 1940 standards.
Yeah, you've seen a movie before 1970. That's the lead.
Steve, what's yours?
Well, I didn't know that was the topic. I thought it was.
They added that.
Oh, okay. So I would say
because
maybe
it's Halloween
The Frighteners.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of a mid, like scary, or Lady in White. Maybe Lady in White.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
All right.
Old Yeller's pretty scary.
Well, for Yeller it is.
I am not as much of a baby as Andy.
I will accept that. I will accept that.
And I've never heard of what Steve was talking about.
Oh, watch them both.
Lady in White, White Lady
and The Frighteners.
Okay.
Not the same movie, but yeah.
Okay. The Lady in White Frighteners. Okay, so I haven't seen those movies. This is one of my favorites. I don't know if
you say Hocus Pocus.
No. Oh. Listen,
he does love that
I am not
movie,
bad-mouthing Hocus Pocus. Do you want this entire state to rise up against
true.
you? Are you kidding me? Like, don't touch Hocus Pocus, folks. Okay, so I don't know if this is considered horror. That's certainly not horror, but this was one of the scariest movies I can remember watching in the movie theaters.
I see dead people.
In your dreams? While you're awake?
No, right now.
All the time. The Sixth Sense. I am telling you, I was a nervous wreck watching this. I was so freaked out by those ghosts.
And I will never be able to unsee.
This is my home, which I am leaving the comforts of for the weekend to explore the Blair Witch. I can see you.
This area's been haunted by that old woman for years.
Blair Witch Project. You guys, anytime I think of that movie, which is probably far more often than I should, given the fact that it's been like probably more than 2 decades since I've watched it, it freaks me out.
Well, try this. At Sundance, this was a movie that no one had heard of. They showed it to us. We had no idea that found footage was going to become a thing. We were totally freaked out.
I thought it was real.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought it was, they did such a good job with that movie. I thought it was literally like real footage that they turned into a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
All time.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's they did a great job with it if they accomplished their goal, because I think about that movie far too often.
It single-handedly stopped parents putting their kids in a corner. Like, single-handedly ended that as a punishment. Steve and Andy, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to listening to the movie show coming up right after us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. The parents of a woman arrested in Cottonwood Heights on suspicion of killing her husband have now been arrested themselves.
Thomas and Rosalie Gledhill are being held without bail on suspicion of felony obstruction of justice. Police say after their daughter's arrest, Thomas told them he had not helped clean up their daughter's house after Matthew Johnson was believed to have been murdered. But witnesses reportedly tell police they saw him cleaning the house. Investigators say they found bloodstains under Jennifer Gledhill's bed and that Rosalie had purchased a new mattress that was found in their daughter's bedroom. Reporting from Cottonwood Heights, Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. 27% of American men and 38% of American women have tattoos. The American Tattoo Society says better tools and training of artists have refined traditional tattoos, but they can still cost hundreds of dollars and require multiple visits to the tattoo parlor. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average is down on the day now, 83 points, while the NASDAQ has been strongly up today and right now up 224. At our KSL weather, we have sunshine and it'll get warmer through the weekend. That's next. KSL News Time, 11:01.
News doesn't just mean information or dates.
It's the story of our local history being told in real time.
Be a part of the story. This is Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
We hope to be a part of your story. We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow. Maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Traffic and weather together brought